How we learned to speak English confidently without translating in our heads. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English with a Smile. Today's episode is going to be a special one. We'll talk about something that every English learner struggles with at some point: how to speak confidently in English without constantly translating from your native language in your head. Let's be honest, we've all been there. You want to say something simple, like ordering coffee. But what happens? First, you think of the sentence in your native language. Then you start translating it word by word. You pause, your brain panics, the barista stares, and suddenly you forget how to say sugar.
It's frustrating, right? But here's the good news. You can train yourself to think directly in English, and when that happens, speaking becomes natural, fluent, and, most importantly, confident. In this episode, we're going to share our journey. How we went from nervous translators in our heads to confident speakers who can enjoy conversations without panic. You'll hear funny stories, embarrassing mistakes, and practical tips that you can start using right away.
So grab your headphones, relax, and let's dive in. Why we translate in our heads. Let's start with the obvious question. Why do we even translate in the first place?
The answer is simple: because your brain loves shortcuts. When you learn a new language, your native language is always there as a safety net. Your brain says, "Oh, I already know how to say this in Russian, Spanish, or Chinese. Let's just translate. It feels safe." But here's the trap. Translation is slow. Real conversations move quickly. While you're busy building your perfect sentence in your head, the conversation has already moved on.
I remember once at my first job interview in English, I wanted to say, "I'm looking forward to this opportunity." But in my head, I started translating word by word from my native language. By the time I opened my mouth, I had built a sentence like, "I wait with good emotions for this chance." The interviewer smiled politely, but I could tell it sounded strange. That's the cost of overthinking and translating. Another reason we translate is fear of making mistakes. We think, if I translate carefully, I won't embarrass myself. But the truth is the opposite. The more you translate, the more unnatural and awkward your English sounds. Native speakers don't speak like Google Translate. They use simple words, short phrases, and natural expressions. So if you're stuck translating in your head, don't worry, you're not broken. You're just at the stage where your brain hasn't switched yet. And switching is possible. We did it, and so can you.
Building confidence.
Before we even get to thinking in English, let's talk about confidence, because confidence is the engine that drives fluency. Without it, no technique will work.
Here's the hard truth. You will make mistakes. Everybody does. Even advanced speakers. The difference is that confident speakers don't care. They laugh at their mistakes, correct themselves, and keep going.
I remember one of my first big mistakes. I was in London, and I wanted to buy some jam. I walked into a shop and proudly asked, "Excuse me, can I have some yam?" The shopkeeper looked confused and pointed me to the sweet potatoes. I had confused jam with yam. At first I was embarrassed, but then I laughed, and so did the shopkeeper. We even had a short conversation after that. And guess what? I never confused those two words again.
Confidence grows from experiences like this. Every mistake is a lesson. Every embarrassing moment becomes a funny story later. The more you speak, the more comfortable you get. And the faster you stop caring about perfection, the sooner you'll speak freely.
Here are 3 quick tips for building confidence. Start small. Don't wait for a big presentation. Practice with small conversations, ordering food, asking for directions, saying hello to a colleague. Celebrate mistakes, write them down, laugh at them, share them with friends. Each mistake is proof you're learning. Focus on connection, not perfection. Remember, people care about your message, not your grammar. Thinking in English. Now the real magic. How do you actually stop translating and start thinking in English? The trick is to surround yourself with English so much that your brain has no choice but to use it directly. Think of it like training a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Here are some strategies that worked for us. Label your world. Put sticky notes in English around your home. Mirror, door, fridge. Every time you see them, say the word out loud.
Narrate your life. While cooking, think, "Now I cut the onion. I need more salt." Don't burn the rice. Speak to yourself in English. It's not crazy, it's practice. Micro conversations. Instead of translating big, complicated ideas, practice tiny ones. Don't think, "How do I translate this long sentence from Russian?" Think, "I'm hungry. I'm tired. Let's go." Start simple. Build up.
Ban translation apps, at least for easy words. Force your brain to guess from context. It feels hard at first, but it works.
Watch and repeat. Choose a show or YouTube video you love. Pause. Repeat the phrases out loud. Pretend you're the actor.
Keep an English diary. Write 1 paragraph a day in English, no translation allowed. At first it will be broken, but soon it will feel natural. I remember when I started narrating my day in English. One morning, I burned my eggs because I was too busy practicing. Now I put the eggs in the pan. Oh no, too hot. Smoke, fire. But you know what? That silly mistake helped me remember a dozen new words. Thinking in English isn't about being perfect. It's about training your brain to skip the middleman, your native language, and go straight to English. How we learn to speak fluently. Let's get personal. How did we actually make the jump from translating everything in our heads to speaking fluently?
For me, it was a mix of immersion, practice, and a lot of mistakes. I started with movies and TV shows. At first, I used subtitles, but then I forced myself to watch without them. I didn't understand everything, but slowly, my brain started connecting the sounds to the meaning directly. I stopped thinking, what's the Russian word for this? And started just knowing it in English. The second big step was finding a language partner. We agreed on one rule: no Russian, only English. At first, it was painful. Our conversations were full of pauses, ums, and mistakes. But week by week, it got easier. Soon we were joking in English. That's when I realized I was finally thinking in English.
Another huge milestone was traveling. When you're in a country where nobody speaks your language, you have no choice. I remember asking for directions in New York. I wanted to say, "Where is the subway entrance?" But I forgot the word entrance. Instead, I said, "Where do I go down for subway?" The man understood perfectly. That day, I learned an important lesson. You don't need perfect words. You just need communication. Here are the habits that helped us reach fluency. Daily speaking practice. Even 5 minutes a day is better than 2 hours once a week. No shame zone. Speak to friends, pets, even your plants. They don't judge. Chunk learning. Memorize phrases, not individual words. How's it going? Is easier than remembering how plus is plus it plus go. Shadowing. Listen to native speakers and imitate them immediately. Think simple. Don't try to translate Shakespeare in your head. Use short, clear sentences. The moment you stop caring about mistakes and start enjoying communication is the moment fluency begins. So, what did we learn today? Translating in your head is normal, but it slows you down. Confidence comes from mistakes. Don't run from them. Laugh at them.
To think in English, surround yourself with it daily. Speak, watch, write, listen. Fluency is not about perfection. It's about connection. Remember, every confident English speaker you admire once felt exactly like you. They froze, they translated, they panicked, but they kept going. And so can you.
One day, you'll look back and laugh at your first mistakes. You'll remember the time you confused jam with yam or said, "I'm boring," instead of "I'm bored." And you'll realize those mistakes were the stepping stones to your fluency. So don't wait. Start today. Speak to yourself, speak to strangers, speak to the mirror. And most importantly, enjoy the journey. Because speaking English confidently isn't just about grammar and vocabulary. It's about freedom. The freedom to express yourself, to connect with the world, and to share your story.
Thank you for joining us on English with a Smile. Keep learning, keep laughing, and keep speaking. You're closer to fluency than you think.
See you in the next episode.